But what I decided to do when I was wanting to talk about this video, I decided to look at the previous sets because we've also had two sets that are very similar to this in sort of context. Shadows of Valhalla, Fists of the Gadgets, and they were also handled really differently in comparison to Toon Chaos. First up, Shadow of Valhalla. Now this was where we got the Valkyrie support, the Ninja support, and we were also getting the old Entity cards as well that we haven't had in Korea. And as you can see, good chunk was Valkyrie support, new Valkyrie support. Now this is when they first came out as well, so it makes sense that there would be a lot of them. You got 5 new Ninja cards, and then you got the 4 Elder Entity cards and the 1 Alistair. So there was 20 new cards that were put in from this set. Now 5 of them were imports, the other 15 were brand new cards. So very different from how Toon Chaos did it, which was 10 new cards and 15 imports. And then we got a bunch of reprints, as you can see, loads of Ninja reprints. You then got this seems to be a common theme with these sets, is they like to print hero support in these sets as reprints. I don't know whether this is just a thing that they say, a lot of these old hero cards are very expensive, let's just put these in just to help bulk them out, because they don't know where else to put them in. You then got some Mermail stuff, Alistair stuff, which was really expensive, but obviously they were putting Alistair the Invoker of Madness, so they threw in some of the more expensive cards in it. Now they were also short printed, ironically enough, which didn't help the price much. And then a few other cards, things like Ash Blossom, Gem Knight, Seraphonite, High Speed Roy Chambara, which was an expensive card back in the day. Shadal Fusion, Gateway to Chaos, Urgent Ritual Art, card that wasn't really reprinted all that much, it was quite expensive. So overall this set I feel like was handled far better because the reprints were meaningful, but they also put in a lot of reprints that were needed for various different cards. So like the Ninja stuff got a lot of reprints even though it only got like 5 cards in it. Fists of the Gadgets, on the other hand, though, was where you start to see similarities between it and Toon Chaos, because you got 5 cards for it, 11 cards for like the Fire Fist stuff, 4 cards for Archfiend. Now the reason I put an emphasis on the 4 cards for the Archfiend is it's on the cover of like the packs, but you move down to what other new cards got imported, and there's 13 Cybers cards coming from either V-Jump promos and the Shooting Code Talker Structure deck, which we never got. 13. Again, 10%. 10% of this set compared to the 5%. Or not even that. 20% to 10%. Like, you could have taken this out, put Shooting Code Talker in, and it wouldn't have made it. It would have promoted the set a lot better in terms of things that they wanted to do. And then they threw in a lot of decent reprints. Silver and Gold Gadget is getting reprinted to no end at this stage with the movie packs. You got the gadgets, which weren't expensive. But again, if you wanted to just pick up the gadget deck, you didn't have to buy a whole lot outside of that. Maybe 10 Goldfish and a few of the extra deck cards. You then got a bunch of Fire Fist cards that are getting reprinted, Tenki, Tensu, Yoko, cards that maybe needed reprinted and were getting expensive. Then you got 3 Subterra cards. Now Hidden City is the meaningful one. It was a meaningful reprint for the Subterra stuff and the Fiendus. So the only card really outside of that you needed was Guru and a couple of other cards. Scrap Recycler, because Orcust were becoming big at that stage, Scrap Recycler was a meaningful reprint for people. True Draco stuff that was getting expensive. Amorphages, Sloth and Goliath made sense to me. Lechery, on the other hand, was a bit of a weird one because it wasn't really all that expensive. You then got Chronograph Sorcery. Pendulums were starting to sort of pick up again with the announcement of the Pendulum support. Mythical Beast Serpers again, and then Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. So overall, there were a lot of meaningful reprints in Fist of the Gadgets, but the way it was promoted and what you see on the cover art, it didn't make a lot of sense, because whenever this set was properly announced, no one knew like Shooting Code Talker Structure deck stuff was going to be in the set at first. And then when you saw the sheer amount of it in comparison to the Archfiend, it's like, well, why not just put Shooting Code Talker on the front of it? It would have promoted. It would have been more honest to say that was one of the major focuses of the set, not the Archfiend stuff, which, by the way, is ridiculously cheap because no one wanted it. So when you look back, at Toon Chaos and you see the amount of reprints that are in this set in comparison to the other two sets, you kind of wonder why they haven't done it. And it's very simple. Legendary Duelist is coming out soon. It's meant to be Pegasus oriented. But, and a lot of people say, oh, they'll just do the stuff from Legend of the Duelist for it. When you look down the list, and this is where the ultimate issue comes in, I think a lot of people, have sort of overestimated how much was actually in Toons in this set. You got 2 cards, Toon Kingdom and Mimicat. So it's obviously they're not going to put the reprints in this sort of set. But they did also announce Dragons of Legend, which is 8 Toon cards. The problem being, apart from one of these cards, the rest of them are all cheap. So, yes, they could be reprinting it, but a lot of the cards aren't really expensive. By the way, it's Toon Kingdom is the expensive card. If anybody doesn't know about Toons, a lot of the Toon cards are fairly cheap. The only dear one is Toon Kingdom because it's so essential for the deck, and I think it was short printed when it first came out in this set. It's like a £35. It's £35 secret rare when it came out in this set. So yeah, 8 cards in this set, brand new, support, and also there was Toon support in Shadows of Valhalla, I believe, as well. Or Shining Victories. That was where the Toon support came in. I'm kind of getting mixed up here because I'll show a couple of prices as well of some of the more now expensive cards in Toons, because when this set drops, these are all going to be, I think, apart from Harpy Lady and Toon Terror, they're all going to be expensive. But when you look at cards that maybe are essential for the deck, like Toon Dark Magician, you can get them dirt cheap. Like, look, there's a common one for speed duels, or a super rare one that's $2.25. So that's not expensive. Toon Table of Contents, one of the main searchers of the deck back in the day, it's cheap and can also be searched with bookmark and stuff like that. Red Eyes Toon Dragon is the only monster I've been able to find that has a really high price point per beat, and that's it. There's so many of these cards are not expensive. Like even Mimicat got reprinted more than once, and it's not expensive. It's probably one of the dearest cards from Toons. But we get the Toon Kingdom, and it's the only card really that's holding any sort of value. And as you can see, it's like £10. These are £30. I don't know why. This is on eBay. I'm not looking at the card market because this is where a lot of people will probably try to sell their cards outside of their websites, and it's good just to see where they all start from. And as you can see, the Japanese versions are your cheapest ones, but obviously you can't really play with Japanese cards unless you have an English proxy. But they are expensive, and they are getting expensive. So honestly, guys, this is where I thought the reprints would have been coming from, is like Toon Kingdom, just to get more Toon Kingdoms out there, make this deck as cheap as possible. But no, really in 2 sets, there's a possibility that it'll be reprinted in one of them. My money is at this stage on Dragons of Legend, because I feel like Season 1 of the Legendary Duelist is going to focus more on the expensive cards, so the Millennium Eyes Restrict, the Ojama support that was expensive, Crystal Bond for Crystal Beast, all those sorts of cards that were short printed that were really expensive, I think are going to be more likely to be reprinted than some of the newer stuff, some of the older stuff like Toon Kingdom. But overall, guys, my thoughts on Toon Chaos is I like it as a set overall. Reprints are good. The new support, it's good. Not broken, but it's good for the most part. The issue I have is the way this was handled as a promotional item was not, because there was so much hype built around. Yes, by the way, guys, you're getting new Toon support. You're going to get a lot of new Chaos support. You're going to get Dream Mirror support, which, again, like I said, is Chaos Daedalus, which is not named Dream Mirror. So anybody looking through the set for names being like, I don't see the Dreambearer support. Where is it? I don't see it. And then someone turned out, oh, it's that card there. It's like, but it's not. It only protects. It's what? That's where I have the issue with this set. It's like the way it was promoted. It was, you're getting all this new Toon support, you're getting all this new Chaos support, and then all these reprints. Now, like I says, it's a good set. I am not bashing on the fact that it's not a bad set. It is a very good set for value for people who are looking for maybe reprints that they maybe need, or budget options for some of the cards that they maybe need. Cyframe, the Cyframe Gear Gamma is an expensive hand trap. It's now a wee bit cheaper now, which is good. Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning, good reprint. All the stuff from the video game prints, very good. Masked Heroes, very good. The imports, very good. I just feel like the way this set was promoted, personally, I think they should have just changed the name, maybe change the artwork a wee bit. Call it Toon Chaos. Even if they were to put in and be like Toon Chaos and then put like 5 Toon reprints, I think the set would. I wouldn't have had an issue then with the promotion of it at that point, because then you're getting 5 reprints of Toon cards that maybe you need for the deck, and it saves you having to go looking for them. And as well as that, Toon Kingdom I think should have been in this set. Personally, I think they should have just reprinted Toon Kingdom, and just put it in here and make it really easy to get a hand on as well, because at least it would have been a worthwhile reprint. People like a very expensive card getting very easily made accessible to people, instead of Toon World, which has been reprinted like no tomorrow, and you could probably get a play set of them for like £1.50 at this point. Overall, I think it's a good set. Guys, that's it for this video. Please give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.